Hey there, hi there, ho there. You know, what is up with that lone tree? Whatever. Internet. Kind of curious as to what everyone's thoughts are on big old meetups of motorcycles, or really any event requiring motorized vehicles. Well, that's a bit. What's y'all's thoughts on those? At what point is it so big and, well, we'll get to that point, but at what point would you not attend a meetup? And I guess the thing I'm going for here is, at what point are so many people crammed in one tiny location that it no longer becomes fun to go and do a ride on the roads, and it just kind of becomes a, hey, I'm gonna ride here, maybe with my buddy, maybe with nobody, and to sit in a parking lot and chew the shit with somebody, take an hour to go ride somewhere in a circle, and then come back. At what point does it, for you, my viewers, no longer become a fun thing? Just out of curiosity. And now I'm not picking on larger meetups. I'm really not. If that's what you enjoy, hey, you know, go for it. I just know that I'm kind of reclusive. Well, I suppose there's that, but I'm also very introverted. You gonna turn or not, man? I don't know. You sure look like you wanted to turn. So I don't, beyond the core group of folks that, like for instance the Tennessee people, you know, the Tennessee meetup folks, I don't really hang around with a whole lot of other people. I've got coworkers, you know, that one of them now has a Spider, but I don't know, I just, you throw me in a group that large and I tend to just shut down, and I probably won't talk to anybody. And no one's going to talk to the old gray hair either, so it wouldn't be a fun time for me. And then when you add on to the fact that it takes like an hour to roll everybody to hell out of there, and just, it's one thing to have a mix of, it's one thing. It's one thing to have this group of riders that some might be kind of experienced, maybe expert, and some that are fairly new. Now, I'm fairly new. I've only been riding for exactly a year and a month, something like that. But I'm also not going to go and take this motorcycle up to, you know, whatever its drag limit speed is every time I take it out. I'm not going to test the bounds of its traction every time I leave the house. I'm not going to be, you know, in general, misbehaving all the time. And that's not always the problem, you know? It really isn't. It's just that the mentality of some folks that get a motorcycle and have that much power under their hands versus their maturity levels, there's a vast divide there. So it seems like every single time there's one of these big meetups, somebody is going down pretty hard. And that's also kind of true of the Harley guys, but it's a different age group, but it's for the same reasons. A lot of the times you see people go down on these group rides for the younger mindset. It's not paying enough attention, riding too close to someone else, trying to show off, whatever. For the older crowd to get together, the sunsetters and the older age folks, it's just, you know, you have a weekend fair weather rider warrior that, although has several years of experience, let's say, just doesn't spend enough time in the saddle and panics and makes mistakes that they probably shouldn't. So there again, like the weekend that I missed for the meetup, there was a group of Harley riders out trying to do the record amount of Harley riders on the tail of the Dragon, and there was at least one crash. And what happened there was somebody panicked, grabbed a handful of front brake, and this was just trying to leave the parking lot for the event, and dumped the bike. I don't know if there are any other incidents. I really hope not, because that's just not a good time. But there again, it's just too many people. It's hard to have fun when there's just that amount of folks involved that you've never ridden with, and it's hard to trust what they're gonna do. So, you know, and maybe it's just all in the end boils down to a really simple trust thing. Man, he just like really missed that turn. So I guess they can boil it down real simple. I like to ride with people that I can trust with my life to do predictable stuff. And so far, the group of people I've ridden with, that's been the case every time. So again, I'm curious on everyone else's thoughts on big old group rides. If you've done it, would you do it again? If you've not done it, would you think about doing it? Hit me up in the comments. I'm here to answer your questions. So until next time, internet, God, I hope one of those rocks doesn't come kicking out of that sumbitchin' truck. Later days.